Jake Taylor Jacobs with the Biz Zone. I think it's very important that we understand um, that learning how to build an indestructible business takes time, and this series is to break down the things that cause our businesses to be indestructible, how to keep them from dying. In today's class, we're going to be talking about the seven warning signs your product or brand, seven warning signs that your product or brand is dying. Seven warning signs that your product or brand is dying. Question number 2 if y'all are ready for class. Question number 2 if y'all are ready for today's class. Question number 2 if y'all are ready for today's class. Y'all know how we do, man. Y'all know how we do, man. Y'all know how we do, man. Okay, let's get it. Let's get it, let's get it, let's go. Class said that they ready to start learning something. Cool. So, again, if y'all want access to today's class, today's notes, go to bizcodetv.com if you want access to today's notes. If you're on IG class, you only be allowed 45 minutes of today's session, so make sure that you get your stuff going. All right, get into my notes. Get into my notes. All right, so look. Someone want to sign that your product or brand is dying. There are numerous reasons why businesses have not been able to be successful as you would like them to be. We don't really have time to talk about everything at this moment, but one thing I will tell you that is true is that your product is the heart of your business. If you don't write down any notes, I want you to write down this right now, okay? Your product is the heart of your business. It is the heartbeat of your business. And if you don't focus on having a healthy heart, it don't matter how healthy every other aspect of your business body is. If the heart is in disarray, if the heart is not correct, that heart is going to pump that blood, which are customers, all the way up and down, your ecosystem. And so the biggest thing that a lot of us don't pay attention to is your business may be functioning, but if that heart is broken, eventually the blood flow and everything will stop going to the places that it needs in order to keep your business alive. And a lot of us think that the outcome of money will let us know that our business is healthy. That is no different than people thinking that just because you're breathing today, or just because you're not fat, or just because you don't take medicine, that your heart is not, breaking down every single day. And just because you lived 40, 50, 60 years, that means that you're going to live 80, 90 years. It just means that your body has not caught up to the breakdowns that are happening. So when you look at a business or a successful business, almost like looking at a successful body. Okay, although it may look good on the outside, on the inside can be telling a different story. And if a vital organ is anywhere out of place or broken, it can literally change the way that your body is moving every single day. And that's the exact same strategy or the exact same problems that we deal with. So today we're going to be trying to help you see why your product or brand is dying, why that heart of your business needs a little bit more work in order for you to move forward. Again, if you want access to this class notes, go to bizcodetv.com and today's notes will definitely be there. So number 1, here is one good example that your product or your brand is dying. And excuse me, I use product and brand interchangeably. And the reason being is because a product is something that your brand sells. A brand is a business that you sell. So when you talk about brand, you talk about products. I use those interchangeably because you can turn your business into a product if the systems are laid out right. And if you want to go another route like getting investors or taking a company public and those type of deals, turning your business into a product is going to be absolutely important. So number one, when it comes to knowing if your here's a warning sign if your product or brand is sick. Number one is your marketing. Your marketing is all about you. When your marketing is all about you, that's how you know. That's the first sign that your business, your brand, or your product is in trouble. That's the first sign that your business, your brand, or your product is in trouble. Self-promotion is misunderstood. Okay? Yes, you want to market yourself in your products or services, but the focus has to be on your prospect, not you. So self-promotion is not about promoting you, what you have, what you purchased, what you bought, the chains that you wear, the jet that you fly on, the cars that you drive, what your life looks like. That's not the correct way of self-promoting if you're talking about a long-lasting brand or product. Okay? It's about what you can do for others. That is the number one thing that we got to focus on. What does my product, how can it help other people? How can my services help other people? How can my programs help other people? How can my course or my product or my system help other people, not just helping ourselves? Okay? So if your product takes you to sell it, that's not something that's going to last forever. That's not something that's going to last forever. On IG, they're saying that y'all can't hear me. Is that just them, or is it IG? So when your marketing is only about you, your product will not last and your business will die extremely fast. And when I began to start looking at like successful entrepreneurs, and what's up, Meek? And when I say successful entrepreneurs, I'm talking about like billionaires, like people that's been in the game at the highest level, 20, 30 years playing it real high. Those are the people I'm looking at as the standard, right? Not people that's making money, today. I'm looking at people that have made money, okay? So when I'm looking at it, I begin to start seeing some things that stuck out. Most of the billionaires, we don't even know what car they drive or what cars they have. We don't know what house they own or what houses they have. If it wasn't for paparazzi being nosy, a lot of us wouldn't even know the true lifestyle of these billionaires that have positioned themselves in the Hall of Fame of business. So what does that tell us? That influencer marketing, showing the stuff that we have, is branding ourselves, but taking attention off of our products and our services that we can deliver that will be there even when we're not. So my branding or my marketing, if my branding, what's going on, Yakub? If my branding and my marketing is based on what I have, how I'm living, and where I stay, that is not an indication of something that's going to last forever. Because if or when you don't have those things, if the intention of it being purchased was because you had those things, if that person doesn't get those same things, they will feel like your product failed them, because that was the way you marketed to them. So if I'm marketing to you my technology, but I'm marketing my technology by promoting my car and my lifestyle. Well, if you don't get my car and my lifestyle, you would think that the technology doesn't work, because that's not what you bought. You didn't buy the technology, you bought the lifestyle. And when you buy the lifestyle, and don't get the lifestyle, it takes the attention off the product, and people will start to call your company a fraud or you a fraud, even if your product worked, because they didn't buy your product, they bought the result. And the result that you showed them was a lifestyle, was cars, was clothes, was plane rides, was jet rides. And because they didn't get that, they would think that you don't know what you're talking about. So if y'all haven't noticed, I went far away from promoting even where I be, if I'm on the plane, if I'm not on the plane, because apparently, you know, that ain't something that lasts a long time. And when I find something new and my facts change, so do I. So if y'all go down and y'all see me outside my car, you seen the car I drive, like that, y'all ain't really seen nothing like that no more. And that is the reason. Because that marketing doesn't last forever. You can't market like that and stay and sustain your business on top. If you picking up what I'm putting down, press the number 3. If you are picking up what I'm putting down, press the number 3. Press the number 3 if you're picking up what I'm putting down. Okay? I think it's absolutely critical, and I think it's absolutely important that we understand this in its full construct, okay? So, the first layer is when I'm self-promoting in a negative way. Remember, it's not just about what they have or what you have. It's about what your product or service can do for someone. Very important. Okay, number 2. Number 2. Here's the second warning sign that your product or brand is sick and dying. The second warning sign that your product is sick or dying. Your brand has no reason to exist. So the second warning sign is that your brand has no reason to exist. People buy based on difference, not similarity. You must have a reason to exist in the marketplace, okay? Don't be another Me Too competitor. Offer something that no one else does, because being just like everyone else is a fast track to going out of business. Now, let me tell you something. Here's one of the number one reasons why I've always been hesitant to teach people any specific business endeavor to get into. And here's why. Because too much of the same thing waters down that thing and everyone makes less money. What they say, a rising tide brings everything to shore.
Rising tide rises all ships.
Yeah, rising tide rises all ships. Well, this saying, rising tide brings everything to shore. Back to the beginning. When too many people are teaching the same exact thing, when your brand, the reason or how you do something is literally looking like the exact same blueprint that you got, although that blueprint made someone else money, if you don't figure out how to make yourself different, to make your look different, to make your product or your service different, what's going to happen is your brand doesn't really have a need to exist, because there are a billion things or companies out there like yours. Somebody told me, they said, Jake, you will reach more people if you didn't add like gospel stuff and, you know, sound like a pastor, like you yelling all the time. And I said, well, that's what makes me different. Because if somebody wants just Jake and his company consulting them without bringing context and relativity to it, then they don't want Jake. And they don't want the team. Because we're going to bring relativity to growing and changing your business. Because if you can understand it from the level of relating to it, it's easier for you to keep the change. So if you want some black and white company to come and rehabilitate and transform your business, in case y'all don't know, we actually own a development firm that focuses on transforming and healing broken, sick, and dying businesses. So we focus our full attention as a consulting company on going and rehabilitating any broken business. That's what we do, right? So if a company is broken, that means the leader is probably down. I just can't come with graphs and math and numbers. I got to be able to relate to them in a way that they can say, man, I got this. I can transform my company. I can turn my company around because I have it in me, right? So there's a reason that my brand exists. It's a differentiator. When I came on the scene and I started teaching private banking, teaching people how to build their own banking system, I was different. First of all, there was barely anybody online teaching private banking when I came online. Secondly is I wrapped my information all inside of it, and I put scripture and kingdom principle in it that made it different. So when people begin to start mimicking the same thing, it watered down their results because something or someone was already standing in that place as the originator. But I didn't create private banking with insurance. It was called infinite banking from a man. It was called infinite banking from a man that actually created the concept. So I took his concept and made it mine, made it a different offer in the marketplace, and everybody began to accept it, right? So when you know that your product or your brand is dying, is if you can look around and you offering the same thing. If your experience for your Airbnb is just a quick making money Airbnb, it makes you no different. And when you are not different, people will go to the cheapest person before they come to you. People stay with brands because they're different. They keep your product because it's different. It makes them feel different. Cool. So this is what I'm going to do after every single sign. I'm going to say, y'all picking up what I'm putting down. That's going to be number 3. If anybody knows, I got that from my sister, King Ashley Ann. So I just love when she say that. Right? You got to be different, right? So if you're picking up what I'm putting down, press number 3. We still on point together? If you're on YouTube or Facebook, make sure what's going on. E. Deadman. If y'all on YouTube or Facebook, make sure y'all share, comment. Everybody, I want y'all to know bizcodetv.com. You can actually get my notes for today. bizcodetv.com. You can go get my notes for today and watch it live from there if you want to. The third warning sign that your product or brand is sick. The third warning sign that your product or brand is sick. You are focused on price instead of value. The third warning sign that your product or brand is sick and on the road to dying is you are focused on price instead of value. If someone has an issue, can you write that on the board for me again? You're focused on price instead of value for the people that's watching. If someone has an issue with the price of your products or services, it's because the value is not clear.
Focused on what?
Price instead of value. Focus on the benefits customers get from your product, and the price becomes irrelevant. Price is only an issue in the absence of value. Price is only an issue in the absence of value. Thank you. Okay? And when I say focus on the benefits, I'm not saying focus on the benefits that you sell. I'm saying focus on the benefits that they need. So if I'm selling or if I'm offering a product, right? If I'm selling or if I'm offering a product, right? I'm not finna be like, oh, in this cup, oh, it also has a cup holder for if it gets hot in your hand. Oh, and this chic right here, yeah, this is actually biodegradable. I'm talking about what is the benefits of me getting this coffee from you? How will it help my life? That's the only thing I care about. And a lot of us will get to selling all the benefits and all the bells and whistles of all these things that don't matter to the customer. The customer is getting your product for whatever result that you want to deliver to them. They're not getting it because you're just awesome and amazing. And if somebody is purchasing your products just because you are awesome and you are amazing, guess what? They don't care about your products. They only care about you. And that is a really vulnerable position. That's a vulnerable position to be in. When people are only purchasing your product because it's you. Let me tell you why? I'm going to tell you why. It happened to my company plenty of times. Starting from me. People love me so much that they'll come, hey, I'll get a bank, I'll get a policy, I'll get this from you. And then when my team and my staff is dealing with them, you know it's a problem when they don't like that your staff is handling the situation or the product for you. When your customer or client only wants to work with you, there's a problem. They don't care about the product. They only care about you serving them. Because if you don't serve them, they don't want the business or they deem it not to be as valuable. And that lets me know that the way I'm positioning my product is not the right thing for me. Because that means that if I ever decide to leave my company, or if I ever decide to walk away, if I ever decide to sell, or if I ever decide to take a vacation, then my people are not going to want to work with anybody but me. And that's not a great position for your company to be in. Therefore, that's a warning sign that your product or your brand is going to die. Because you are inevitably going to die. So this business that we think that we're building for our children are not really solid businesses because these people only want to deal with us, not our staff, not just our product. And when we die, they will die also from doing business with you. Y'all picking it up? Y'all press number 4 if y'all picking up what I'm putting down. Y'all still with me? Y'all still with me? Y'all still with me? Okay. Y'all real quiet today, so my hope is that y'all are so committed to taking notes. My hope is that y'all are committed to taking notes. That's what's going on. That's what's going on. Y'all like Cousin Jake, this is just good. This is just good. So if you go to bizcodetv.com, you can get my notes from today. If you go to bizcodetv.com, you can get my notes from today. All right. Number 4. The fourth reason why a warning sign that your product or brand is dying. Number 4. You are not engaging. You're not engaging. This is what we got to understand, y'all. The future of business is marketing with people, not at people. The reason why social media is popular is because people like to talk. Don't put up a wall with your audience. Get to know them and allow them to get to know you. Conversation is king. Building a relationship with your customers is an amazing thing. So if you don't have a community where your customers and your clients can build a relationship with the brand and with the team, you're not engaging people to allow them to have a conversation with you. That's why if you look at the biggest brands on social media, they're the ones that have the closest connection with their with their audience, with their fans, or with their followers or supporters, whatever they want to call it. You got to engage. How do you know if your product is actually working? You got to engage. Even if people may be saying it in a way that you don't really want to receive it, if these people are talking to you about a product that they purchased, at least you can give them some type of listening ear. It's important. Engagement is absolutely important. It doesn't mean that you got to let them in on the ins and outs of your business. It doesn't mean that you got to let them in, to see or know your entire family by name. It doesn't mean that. But if you look at the largest and the biggest brands, you typically know the story of the founders. You know the story of the company. People feel bought into the growth and the story of the business. So your people, your clients, your prospective clients got to get bought in, and they can't get bought in if you don't bring them in to engage. Okay? Now the fifth reason why, which is a warning sign that your product or brand is dying. Number 5. For the fifth reason, lack of commitment. You have a lack of commitment. Simple and short. Marketing campaigns come and go. Your brand is not a campaign. It is a commitment. There will always be new ways to market your business. But before you go chasing the newest trick, stay focused on your overall brand strategy. Are y'all listening to me? Before you start going down this rabbit hole of the newest trick of marketing, stay focused on your overall brand strategy. So if your overall brand strategy ain't dancing and doing this, don't start doing it. Your brand strategy, Leia, your brand strategy is almost like your purpose. The reason why your brand or product exists. Don't change the purpose of your brand or product for the finicky times that we're in, depending on trend. But if every time you're doing a new gimmick or a new trick or a new thing, and you're treating your brand or your product like some flimsy trend product, people are going to see it as such. It's just true. Go and look at the biggest companies, y'all. Please, 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 I implore you to go and look at the biggest companies. They not trying to get attention on Facebook and on social media the way that we are currently running it. We're running our marketing and media and promotions campaigns, y'all. We running that like it's not gonna be here forever. Like let me get the bag real quick because I know this ain't gonna last forever. I'm doing good, Mr. Music Man 793. I appreciate you for asking me how I'm doing. That's right, La Love. Don't sell features. Somebody said that's what Suge Knight said about Diddy. I'm not familiar with Suge Knight situation with Diddy, all I gotta say is, Suge, what's going on, Max? Suge Knight had a whole lot more power and brand control than Diddy does, even to this day. And that's a fact. Don't let popularity make you think the difference when it comes to power and control of a brand. House of Steel. Oh, what up, House of Steel? And a lot of us get that confused, and we put our brands in some finicky situations because you think that popularity means brand control. Don't let that confuse you. Okay? I think it's absolutely important that we think about that. Now, number 6. What's going on, Spin? Number 6. Number 6. The 6th warning sign that your product and brand is sick and on its way to its deathbed. You lack excitement or passion. You lack excitement or passion. You lack excitement and passion. People often overlook the importance of being excited and passionate about what you do. Passion is very contagious. If you're not 100% confident about your product and you're not clearly excited about it, then you cannot expect for prospects to be either. A lot of y'all are so bland about your products. You so bland about your services. In the order of being like, Janine said, I listen to you and I'm giving more value and I'm playing the long game. That's right. You're not extremely confident about your product. You're so serious. You're so this and so that. So people are going to give you what you give them. For an example, can I give y'all an example? Good. I was going to give it to you anyway. If you went into a room and everybody was just so serious about every damn thing, how do you think people are going to receive that? Oh my God, well, if I'm not ready, I don't need to do it. Or if you get into the room and all they do is play pranks, you're not going to take anyone seriously. But if you get in a room when people are authentically excited and passionate about what they have and what they do, it's going to make you get excited and passionate without even knowing what's going on. Jake, what do you mean? Have y'all ever been looking at somebody that you love or you trust and they immediately bust out laughing? And they laughing so hard it make you laugh and you don't even know why you laughing. They laughing, we laughing. We all just laughing. You like, bro, like what we laughing for? Like, bro, like what we laughing for? Right? You want to know why? Because passion and excitement makes people want to move. Here's why. Because what's going on, DL? Because the definition of passion is a barely controllable emotion. That is the literal definition of passion. It is a barely controllable emotion. So if I'm extremely passionate about something and I'm excited, it's an emotion that cannot be controlled. Therefore, if somebody receives that excitement to be to be pure with pure intentions, because it'll make them be more intrigued about what you have to offer. But if you're so just, it's whatever, just take the product or you won't, you're only going to get people that are in that space. But if you want people to be truly intrigued, they got to see your passion. That's how so many people get looped into all these different types of religion. And you ask them like, damn, what would make this person want to be so intrigued about this religion? It's very simple. The passion of the leader, the passion of the members, the passion of people that surround them. When you look at your child and you see them as a product of you, and they going out there and they killing it, it's going to make you passionate to be their parent. You're going to be bragging on them every time. Hey, listen, little Junior, he did this. You don't care what people say. Why? Because you're passionate. But if you're not passionate about the product or service you're selling, you need to be selling something different, because your business finna die. Passion is fuel. It's fuel to the engine. It's fuel to the fire. So if you're not excited about it, like where you like literally like yo, I love doing this, then you probably need to be selling something else, or your business is about to die. It's passionate. You got a bunch of people that join, organizations that don't fit them, but because they never felt passion like that before, they just feel compelled to give it a try. It's passion. That's all it is. Just passion. In the seventh. Person number 6, if y'all still with me. Person number 6, if y'all still with me. Number 7. Number 7. Number 7. Which is the 7th reason why. Your 7th warning sign that your product and brand is sick and dying. You lack proof. The 7th warning sign that your product or brand is sick is because you lack proof. This is what you got to always say. Here, understand, y'all. It doesn't matter if it is a flat out lie. People will always believe what others say about you more than you say about yourself. People will always believe what others say about you before they believe what you say about you. If no one is saying anything about you, they'll believe what you got to say. But when enough people start dealing with you, they're going to care more about what they say, even if it is a lie. That's why testimonials are the most underrated weapon in marketing. You want your testimonials to be visible. When you're on your marketing campaign, include them in all your marketing pieces. Nobody does that better than Brother Ben X. Boy, he'll testimonial you to death. That's one thing I learned from him. You can never have too many people saying great, indifferent, or whatever things about you. Because what people say about you, it matters. So if you got 1 million people who say that you're shitty and 10 million people that say that you're amazing, you outweigh the shitty by 9 million. You're positive on value. Appreciate that, Mario. So when it comes to the lack of proof, people say, I don't need all that because my product speaks for itself. Well, if your product is so loud, the people should be talking too, though. People gonna talk if the product good. You can try to tell somebody be quiet as long as possible. They eventually gonna tell somebody. Yeah. Yeah. If whatever you dropping or whatever you delivering that good, people can't keep good to themselves. Because they naturally want to tell people about this encounter or this service or this product. So to avoid the 7th warning sign of a lack of proof, you got to be result focused for everyone else. Y'all remember when I used to try to motivate people based on how much money I made. And that's not a true motivation because people will begin to separate themselves from me and where they are. So as a leader, what I had to understand was, now let me elevate. Now let me elevate everybody that I helped get to the next level. Because no matter how they feel about me later, they cannot negate or take away from me the life that their lives now have because of an encounter with me. So I stopped trying to show y'all much. If y'all notice, like, I'm real basic now. I said, wait a minute. If proof of result of change cannot be showed or demonstrated from the people using your product or using your leadership or using your mentorship, if it cannot be seen in that way, that you gave them the result that they were looking for, guess what, y'all? Eventually, your business will die. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Hype only lasts so long. Excitement can only last so long for the buyer. Eventually, the buyer gonna start. No, that didn't smell like that when I first bought it. Eventually, the buyer gonna be like, guess what? Because the buyer gets educated. The more they encounter with you, they have more data. It's easy to get somebody to sell something to that don't really know you. Because they don't have a lot of data. So they got to take what you give them. But once I get some more data, I get a much more educated buyer. And that much more educated buyer starts to say, wait a minute. Some a little fishy. I can't put my finger on it. But what I've noticed is they made a whole lot of money, but the result of their customers or clients don't show that they received or value the product. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? You just start looking. You start kind of just cross-referencing. Not saying that if you got a coaching program or something, that everyone's going to reach your level. But eventually, 2-3 years later, it may start with you. But 2 or 3 years later of marketing, it should not still be with you. That was a bar parlay. So your brand can start with you, But I've been following you 4-5 years. Why is it still on you? Because the reason why they say good product don't need a lot of marketing, it's not because your product alone speaks. It's because the people that tasted, touched it, felt your product is speaking for you. The products that we put out, we don't get a lot of chargebacks. And we get a lot of repeat customers. You want to know why? Let me tell you why. Because the product, we put a lot of effort, not just in the product, but the product getting you a specific result. And if you can admit that, press the number 2. If our products with our companies have gotten you this specific result that we talked about. It's very simple. It's very simple. So when we talk about these 7 streams or 7 warning signs that your product or your brand is sick and it's on its way to dying, you got to look at all of them. And if you need the notes, you can go to bizcodetv.com. And when you go to bizcodetv.com, you can get the notes from today's class. But the number 1, I'm going to do a recap. Number 1, if the marketing is always on you, that's a sign that your product is dying and your brand is dying. If your brand has no reason to exist, you're not no different than anyone else. That means that that's a number 2 sign that your product or brand is dying. Number 3, you are focused on price instead of value. Number 3, you are focused on price instead of value. That's a number 3 sign that your product and brand is sick and you're dying, and it's dying. Number 4, there's no engagement between your customers and you and the brand and the service. Guess what? That's a sign that your product is dying. Number 5, you lack commitment. That's a sign that your brand or your product is dying. No, bizcodetv.com. Nobody is going to want to purchase from you or come work with someone who is not passionate about what they do. Number 7, lack of proof. Eventually, people are going to say, what do others say about you? See, that's why I love the story of like Jesus, right? Because when he was in the midst of the highest persecution on the planet, I'm talking about the media of that time was making him out to be the worst thing in the world. And Jesus said, I am what the people say I am. They say, do you think that you all this and that? You think you a God? You think you this? And first of all, I just got to clear the air. A lot of people who've been reciting the Bible don't realize that the translation of what he says next, I just got to put this in there, was translated inaccurately. In the Greek, the translation from the Greek, he says, I am a God. In the translation, whatever that went to King James, he says, I am the God. See, that change in one word will make us think that he was the only one and you couldn't do it for yourself. Just A from D to A. Anyway, biggest point I'm making is he says, do you not see in my works that I am a child of God? Do you not see in my works? You know what Jesus was saying? Hey, don't ask me, big fella. Jesus said, hey, man, don't ask me, big fella. Ask them. My works tell you who I am. Go check the catalog. Go check the weight I got. I'm not finna argue. I ain't finna argue. I'm not about to argue with anyone who hasn't done their research to determine who I am. Go reach out to the people. Go ask them, I am whoever they say I am. Go look at my works and then ask the people, did I do the works? See, you got to get like that about your product. You got to get like that about your brand. Where there are literally people arguing for Apple on why you need to be on Apple. Y'all, please get this. We don't even work for Apple. And we be guilt shaming people that got a green bubble. Knowing that Apple got a lot of its features from Android and licensed a lot of Android stuff. But we gang banging for Apple. Think about that. Android, soon as you see an Apple, you be like, you one of them. But it sparks up a conversation about brands and products that we don't even own. Those are lasting products. Those are lasting things. And if you're not in business to do that, your business is just a high-paying job, and you just need to admit to that and commit to that. Stop telling your children that you're going to lead a business for them. Stop telling your children that you building a company for them. Stop telling your wife that you building a legacy, and stop telling your husband that you're doing it for us, because I ain't never seen nobody be able to pass a job down. And all you have is a highly paid job. I'm talking to the people that want to build real businesses. That when you say passing down a company to your child, you're not telling them that they got to run it. Passing a company down to your child says, here's an asset, now go do what you want to do. I'm talking to them people. I'm talking to those that when you say, I'm passing this to my child, you putting it in a portfolio. That a CEO that is able is going to be running your family's business, and whoever got equity in that business going to be able to earn equity and profits off that company for the rest of their life. I'm only talking to those type of business owners. I'm talking to the business owners that's tired of feeling like that you gotta show all your stuff that you have in order for people to love the product that you develop. I'm talking to the business owners that would love to go back and be private. Like you just want your results to speak for themselves. That's why I don't argue with nobody on the internet. If you got an issue with me, let's take all of our results to court. Let's let the court decide. I'm gonna take all of what I got. You take all of what you got. I'm not internet banging with nobody. Let's go to court. Boom, boom, boom. If you want lifestyle, I ain't blaming nobody to do lifestyle. I'm just talking about who I prefer to work with. And I prefer to work with people that want to think in the long term. I prefer to work with those that want to build a legitimate business where the job of running it is not passed down to your child. The job of owning it. I don't know if I'm talking to the right people. Let me go on and get up off of here, cause I don't think I'm talking to the right people. I don't think I am. Because the job of owning the asset that you build is different than the job of running it. Alright? So if that is you, you got to understand that you got to start with your product. Your product is the heartbeat of your business. After you master your product, then your brand becomes the heart of your business. Because your product turns into the brand, what you are known for. Y'all see how that works? That's why I kept using it interchangeably. Okay? So listen, I have a free 2-day intensive. I'm letting you know now. It's this Tuesday and this Thursday, which is tomorrow, on August 16th. It's going to be about 2 to 4 hours each day. I'm letting you know this right now. Clear your schedule. What time? I think it's going to be at 8. 2 to 3 hours each day. The whole purpose is to get you to have a strong winning product. Okay? So go to bizcodeclass.com. IG is about to end. So go to bizcodeclass.com and register. It's going to be in the PM.
We got limited seats and we got almost 500 people registered, so they can make sure they get on the book.
He said we got almost 500 people registered. 472 people have registered. So don't miss your slot. Is there a limit or no? Okay.
We got a limit of the seats.
He said there's a limit. I don't know. We're gonna see. Okay, so listen. Go to bizcodeclass.com. It's a 2-day free intensive. It's free. And we're going to show you how to create that winning product. Okay? We're going to show you how to create that winning product. It starts with your product. A lot of y'all have not bulletproof a product. Okay? Bulletproof that product first. Okay? A lot of y'all have not bulletproofed your product. But you want to make sure that you do that. bizcodeclass.com. I'm telling y'all now, please go ahead and let your schedule and your children get you a babysitter if you need it for those 2 nights. Because tomorrow night we're teaching, and usually when we do 2-day intensives, we go about 3.5, 4 hours. I'm gonna be honest with you. They said they can't find the notes from today's class. It'll be uploaded in a second.
It should be on the page already.
He said it should be on the page already. If not, when the class is over, just go to it, give it about 10 minutes, and it'll do it, okay? All right, so look. Always trying to give y'all as much. He said it's up. I always want to try to give y'all the best value that I can. It's probably going to be about 6.5 to 8 hours, those 2 days broken up. So it's not going to be a day, right? So it's going to be like 3.5, 4 hours to 3.5, 4 hours. But by the end of it, you're going to absolutely know the formula it takes to build a winning product every single time. To build a winning product every single time. It's going to be very important that you do it. And those that follow the steps are going to see results like ASAP every time. Okay? So bizcoclass.com. Go to bizcolive. No, go to bizcotv.com for the notes from today. All right. Going wrestle. I'll talk to y'all mañana. Peace.